Hello, my name is Christian Amland, and I am a solutions engineer here with eMaint and Fluke. And today I'll be walking you through the process by which we would take a work order request through a review process of some kind, like you see on the screen here. Doesn't really matter how many levels of approval you'll need. We can always build in more or reduce the amount to suit your needs, but the process is going to remain relatively the same. So, the first thing that we'll need to do is have an asset that exists that we'll want to put that request in for. Now, within your eMaint system, you do not have to have a username and password, or that is to say, you do not have to have user credentials to actually log or submit a work order request into the system. You can certainly do so right here as a full user, but with each asset that is created inside of your eMaint account, you are going to be able to download either a QR code, like you see here, that can be used by anyone. So they could be out on a floor with maybe a tablet or a cell phone or anything with a camera, really, and they could scan that QR code and then submit a work order request for that particular item. Now, if for whatever reason those QR codes aren't really going to fit on the piece of equipment, or you don't allow devices to be carried around out on the shop floor, then we can also provide you with a link, like you see here, a hyperlink that can be used on your intranet site. It could be applied as a shortcut on actually company managed devices, right, using some sort of MDM platform. It's up to you. Now, both of those options, as I said, do not require user credentials. So as soon as you click on that link, it is going to take you to the first part of this process where we're actually going to fill out the work request itself. So all I'm going to do is select my name from the list of contacts that I have entered into my system, or we can simply make it a text field and you can enter that information manually so that you know exactly who requested this work. I can then configure this form, i.e. what screen you're looking at right now, to be able to drill down into the asset that I'm looking for. So if I'm not using a QR code, I could set something up like this, where I simply answer a list of questions that's going to narrow me down to the proper asset, or I can go ahead and just search via a drop-down list. I can then describe the issue that I'm dealing with. So, for example, this is not running properly, and I can even add an image or two if I'd like. You can add as many images as you want, but just as an example. Once this request is submitted, you will not have access to any other areas of the system. You will simply be able to submit a new request. So now we've moved through that first stage of this process. As a full user of the system, as a supervisor, I can now go to either my work order request list and see that I have an open work request right here that needs to either be approved or rejected. Or I can even set up something like a dashboard where I can go in and view the open requests that have been submitted into my system and need to be reviewed. I can navigate directly to those records right from there as well. Once I've determined if I'm going to approve or reject this request, so rejecting that request will give you an option to send a reason back to the original requester. But once I've made that determination that I am going to move this into a work order, we are going to approve it, I can then move that status into a pending review state. So I can simply search for my status of review, put this into pre-work order review, and save the work order. That action can also trigger a dashboard to be set so that when I go to look for open requests versus open work, I can see those items right here side by side or vertically. It's up to you how you'd like those organized, and these can be filtered for certain roles. So depending on who is doing what level of approval, like you see here, we have some pre-work order review and some ready for that QA audit. We can set up each dashboard unique to that person's role. As each status is observed and as each person is going through that work order, we can simply alter that job status to reflect whatever stage it's going to be in. Under review, QA audit complete, or ready for QA audit. Once those statuses have been moved through and this is ready to be an in-progress work order, I can do the same thing to update that status and let the technician know that this is a work order they can go ahead and start. So, to summarize, there are many different stages that we can build into this process depending on the levels of approval that you need to have within your account. and the roles that you have within the organization. Dashboards can be used to keep you apprised of new requests coming in and those that have been hanging around for just a little bit too long. If you have any questions at all, please let us know, and we hope that this has been helpful. Have a great day.